Hello, everyone. I am Cartoon Kitsune, back with another Toonkind at 12 FPS. And, not gonna say who I'm playing today. Let's let that be a fun little surprise. But more importantly, with me today is my, good friend who I love very much and I love playing games with very, very much. If you'd like to
Aw.
introduce yourself and, who you'll be playing.
Yeah, okay. I forgot the curse of not doing the intros. You get um Hi, I'm Candle. And today I'm going to be playing one Dr. Crystal Everlight. Um who well, we'll see how she's doing soon.
Don't worry about it. Anyway.
Yep.
But yeah, so yeah, this particular FPS, it's set like a little bit in the recent past, specifically Halloween night. Um, so yeah, so where we begin this, so the party itself has gone off without a hitch. There were no major interruptions, no fiends trying to bust down the doors or anything. It went pretty well, and
Major
currently it's
interruptions you had to say.
yeah, there was one minor interruption, but thankfully that whole business wasn't anything too dangerous. So,
Yeah.
yep. Um, but yeah, so where we currently are, it is late into the night. I do want to ask, how late would Crystal stay up? Do you think? Because she was kind of doing, like patrols around the manor to sort of make sure that nothing was trying to sneak in or anything.
Well, she would have at least waited until Aurelia and the mirror system and Angelique had gone to bed. Just, moral support. Um,
Of course,
After
yeah.
that, I guess it depends how long it took her to actually get comfortable enough to sleep because she is not uncommon, like she's not unfamiliar with long late nights. Let's just put it that
Right.
way.
Yeah. I will say that the beds in the manor are extremely comfortable, so it might be a little bit easier to fall asleep based on
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I'm wondering whether I should roll a constitution, see how long it takes her,
Hey, let's see.
just for funsies. Oh, no, okay, apparently she's out pretty quickly.
I told you those beds were comfortable.
They are comfortable.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Oh, that was a six.
that was a six.
Yeah, she's out. I do want to ask though before she drifts off to sleep, how's Crystal feeling like as as like kind of drifting off to sleep?
Um, High strung would probably be the best term for it. She Parties aren't really her scene, so they already come with a little bit of extra stress, even if she has been enjoying the ones with people that she cares about. And then there is
Mm,
also the extra stuff around like the prince and the fact that he
yeah.
has not shown up, which in and of itself is, on the one hand, maybe expected, but also that is also kind of stressful because now they
Mhm.
don't know what his next move is going to be. So, lots of
Yes.
lots of deep
Sort of
thoughts.
kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so your mind isn't exactly restful as you drift off to sleep, but eventually you do regardless.
Yeah. It's been
And
a
as
long night.
yeah, and as you fall asleep, you begin to dream as folks so often do. Um I'm going to say that you sort of wake up isn't really the right term because you're dreaming, but you sort of like come to like in the dream.
Awareness.
Yeah, come to awareness, so to speak. It definitely feels like a bit more vivid than like dreams you might usually have, though I don't know if she would notice that like right away or not.
I don't know. Would you like me to roll a perception or an insight for
Just for
that?
general and like yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with a perception. That's a higher mod.
Eh,
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay. The dice. The dice are still doing this.
Eee. Dice are playing nice.
Yeah, real
Oh
nice.
gosh. Yeah, it's definitely a bit fuzzy at first. It's definitely more vivid, but like you're probably not like as oh god, I'm blanking on the term. What's the term for like when you're more aware in a dream? Lucid. That's it. You're
Lucid,
not,
yeah.
yeah, dreaming quite as lucidly. And makes sense because you're in environment that's like sort of both surreal but also like kind of oddly familiar. I
Mm.
describe it best as because I've had dreams like this where like you sort of like you're in what you know it's your house, but it's like not your house. It's like there's something different about it or off about it.
Oh yeah, totally, totally. And to be honest, like it makes sense that it's also a little bit fuzzy because this would be old memories too at this point.
Definitely. So yeah, so with that 10, you can at least get like sort of a general lay of the land. So you recognize this place, even though it's like the details are fuzzy, might even be like literally fuzzy because considering the nature of like dreams and all that.
Mm, mm.
But yeah, so this it would be what Crystal remembers as her first home, which was in a caravan, as you described it.
Yep.
And let's see, spacious wooden caravan, and the inside walls are covered in like bright colors with flowers and constellations hand painted across the wooden beams. And up on one end of the small space, there is a neat double bed in a section that's curtained off. At the other is a single bunk bed that can be seen through the open entryway. Paper stars, fairy lights, and blankets have been strung from the ceiling and the bed frame, creating a makeshift cocoon slash pillow fort around the top bunk. Meanwhile, the lifted mattress itself is covered in books and notepads. The bottom bunk is empty in comparison, only holding a large floppy hat from when her aunt stayed over sometimes. But so yeah, with that 10, I'm not gonna give you anything right away. I'm gonna say maybe try and explore the space a little bit. And would Crystal try to would she try to like look anywhere specific or look for something, or would she go towards the exit possibly?
Um, going off of the perception and the constitution I rolled earlier, I think she's like, yeah, she's not really like registering much about the fact that this is a dream and that this is unusual. So I think that she probably um she probably gravitates towards the bunk bed area.
Mhm.
Probably like stands on the bottom bunk in order to like pull down one of the books to see what it is.
Yeah. So do you try to like open the book and like read it?
Yeah, probably.
You cannot read the text. It's like all the letters are sort of like moving around, and like your brain registers it as words, but you can't make out anything coherent. I'm gonna
Mm.
say probably roll either like history or straight intelligence for this.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go with history.
Right.
Well, your modifier saved that one.
Goodness, she's so brainy.
Yeah.
15, not bad. Yeah. See, I think with that, Crystal, you gain a bit more lucidity in the stream because you remember reading somewhere that, um, I believe that I checked on this that like it's not impossible to read in a dream, but it's a lot more difficult because when you're asleep, so part of your brain is sort of like shut off, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah. At the very least, if you can't read something, that's probably a good sign that you're not in the waking world.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Plus, like plenty of stories about dreams have that being as like a fact, so I think it's safe to say for this one we can say that's the case.
Yeah, yeah. Tunes and their tropes and all that. Um,
Of course.
yeah, at that she's I think yeah, a little bit more aware. Um, so I think this time she will actually go for the door.
All right, and I'm guessing it's probably like a wooden door, right? Since the whole place is made of wood.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you try the door and it is locked. You do see a keyhole there though, so if you can find the key for this door, then presumably you can open it up.
I think at first just like open, like this is a dream. Let me out. And it doesn't work.
The door does not budge.
So yeah, a little bit of a huff and all right. She's not going through to the other end, the part that's curtained off. So I guess she's just gonna have a look around the middle section that she's in, the little kitchen um table area. See if she
Okay,
can find anything.
roll me an investigation, please.
All right, cool. If my dice don't play nice with this one, I am going to swap them out. All right. Well, threatening works apparently.
Yeah. Oddly enough, it does. You just threaten the dice, and not always, but like occasionally it works. So
Yeah, that's a
27,
27.
very nice. All right. So you managed to find a couple of things. So one thing you find next to the bunk bed, there is a chest that seems kind of oddly out of place. That too is locked. But you also, with that roll, you think to look around in the sort of like cocoon pillow fort in the top bunk to that like that's probably a good spot to hide something.
Mm.
So will you search that area?
Yeah, yeah. In that case, she will she probably does a little bit of a like general sweep of the area looking for anything out of place, and then after finding the chest and not really anything else, she'll dig into the nest on the top bunk.
Okay, Crystal, make me a whiz save, please.
Good fun. All right. Yep. All right. Again, not bad. 23.
Ooh, yeah, that'll definitely work. Yeah, so Crystal, as you go to search in the little blanket fort, a shadowy appendage, like a hand or something, lashes out at you, but fortunately you're able to dodge out of the way in time. And it doesn't hit you, but for whatever reason, it puts you a lot more on alert, and you get the sense that, like, if that thing had hit you, it probably would have hurt somehow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, as it does move though, one other thing, as it moves though, you sort of see something out of the corner of your eye fly out of there and clink to the ground. And if you should look to the ground, there is a silver key on the floor now.
Mm, all right. Well, that has made her a little bit more hesitant. Um, because I think it's starting to settle in. Something's a little off here. Um,
Hmm.
can't tell what at the moment. Just this bad vibe. So I think she's gonna be fairly careful before reaching down, like to pick up the key, like check around the area and I'm actually debating on whether
Uh,
she would touch it or whether she'd try and cast Mage Hand to grab it.
well, that's up to you. I will say that like nothing else attacks you immediately, so seems to be just the one that was hidden in the blanket fort.
All right. Yeah, so she's decided to touch it herself. I think she's wants to see what happens.
You pick up the key and nothing happens. You're just holding the key.
Anticlimactic.
Well, you have a key now, so there's that.
Yeah, she does. Well, she's in the little um bedroom area, so I think she's gonna try the chest first.
All right, you insert the key into the chest, and it clicks open.
Yeah, cool. Does she has to is she forced to dodge anything that comes out?
Nope. Nope, the chest is fine, thankfully, and there's nothing bad in there. What she does find is It looks like it's stuffed full of clothing. Specifically, it's white lab coats, like the kind she might be used to wearing. Though if she happens to pull one out and examine it closer, she'll notice that it's a decent bit like too big for her. Like if she tried to put it on, it would be like hanging down to the floor, and the sleeves would be like hanging there, way too baggy, that sort of thing.
Hmm. It's definitely odd. She's not quite sure to make of that. It could be just her dream mind, like making associations that don't really exist because like she's not the only one in her family who is a researcher. Um, they don't really
Yeah.
usually wear lab coats, but also there is an element of she does now, but this is not her home
Mm-hmm.
when she was an adult. So I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, as she digs through, after digging through a while, you see a glimmer of something shiny a little further in, and as you dig in there, you pull out another key. This time it's a golden one.
Cool. All right. Well, puzzles suggest that this one will work on the door since she hasn't found anything else to unlock.
Yeah.
So, um,
It would be kind of a dick move if like the other key you found and there's only one other lock and it just doesn't work at all and you're just trapped in here forever.
yeah, that'd be kind of rude.
It's a
She'll,
very poorly designed dream.
yeah, she'll deal with that if it comes to it. But for now, she's gonna do the obvious thing and try the front door.
Yes, and despite all my joking, the key does indeed fit, and the lock clicks open, and you're able to exit this area.
Cool. She's very ready to leave. So,
Mm.
um,
Yeah, I do want
but
to check in. How
yeah.
is Crystal feeling like being in this place now? Like, how's this making her feel?
I just want to check that actually. All
Eh.
right, she's doing okay. She there are definitely like memories that come along with this place. Like, there is nostalgia to it. I think that uh, especially when she first woke up, she probably would have spent a bit of time like just looking at all of the things that she kind of remembers. Um, but she's got a little bit too much on her mind at the moment to be particularly affected by this area.
All right. Yeah. So in that case, so you head out of the caravan, and you don't find yourself outside. Rather, it's more like a hallway, and the walls are kind of made of wood, though. I think it probably starts out as like rougher wood, and then kind of transitions into like sort of a smoother kind of like wood, like a house might be built out of, as
Mm.
you go further down the corridor. However, as you are walking down this corridor, uh, roll me. I think either perception or investigation would work.
All right. Gonna go with investigation. She's not okay. She's not really one for outdoors, but right now she kind of wanted it to be outdoors. Ooh, nice. 25.
Ooh, very nice. You definitely notice this, yeah, as you're walking down. I think as you go into this area, so it was brightly colored inside the caravan, but as you go into this area, the colors are also bright, but in more of like kind of a have you ever seen like blacklight posters?
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's sort of like dark, but it's got like kind of the bright shapes in it too. It's sort of like that. So it's like
Hmm.
simultaneously very dark and very bright, almost like to a
Contrast.
like a little bit more of an oversaturated degree. It's not like, glaringly so, but it's starting to get like a bit more so like that. It's kind of transitioning into that as you go further in. But what is most interesting is that beneath your feet, the floor is no longer wooden. It is a tile floor. And at first you can't really like make out the pattern, but as your eyes sort of adjust to like the dim lighting, you see that there are a series of emblems on each of the tiles. There's one that is of a crow, one of a snake, and one of a goat's eye. And also, each of the emblems, they have like sort of like a little crown above like where their heads would be, and the goat's eye, the crown is sort of like floating above like the top of the eye.
Hmm. That's not concerning at all. That definitely
Yeah.
fits with this place.
hmm
Um,
I wonder if we should have Crystal like roll something to put it together, like if these particular animals would remind her something, or because like she's in a dream, so it is kind of like a little harder to think clearly at this point, even if she is a bit more lucid. So I'm
could
gonna
roll
say maybe just
history at.
straight intelligence.
Oh yeah, intelligence. I was gonna say maybe at
It's
disadvantage.
straight intelligence would work. It's like if she was awake and like fully lucid, then this would come to her instantly. But since she's in a dream and her mind's still a little bit fuzzy,
All right, all right. Intelligence then. Okay, 15.
I'd say that's just barely enough. Yeah. So yeah, you definitely remember from the discussion about the Prince of Gourd and his marquise that both of them are associated with animals as well, that being crows and snakes. And of course, the princess emblem is that of a goat's eye, and you should know
Yeah,
this as well because at one point you had one sort of emblazoned on your palm for a
yeah,
brief period of
yeah,
time.
yeah. All right. In that case, I think she stops and yeah, okay. I think cuz like this is a dream. She's aware of that now, but like she's definitely aware that something's wrong, but also she doesn't know if there's a way out other than going forward, and she also is a little bit well, this could be useful. So what she's actually going to do is she is going to try um and cast dancing lights. Wants to see if how much of the rules currently seem to be in play.
Okay, let's see. I think I'm gonna have you roll an Arcana check to see if you can cast the spell here.
Okay, all right. All right, so Arcana, add my Arcana modifier to
Yeah, it's like a straight Arcana check. So
it.
yeah, I think that'll work.
Okay.
I keep
Yep.
having her roll the stats she's good at, so
I mean, you're welcome to change it to something else if you'd like for it not to
no,
work.
I mean this is a magic thing, so like it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
she
yeah,
casts
you cast the
dancing
spell without any
lights.
issue. Yeah.
Yep. I think maybe it takes a little bit more concentration to get it going, but no, it works. That's useful to know. So yeah, she's gonna have the lights with her as she starts forward again.
All right. So yeah, so you eventually reach the end of the hallway and come to another. I believe this would probably also be a wooden door. This one is also familiar to you. You would recognize it as the same sort of door as another house you lived in would have, like specifically the front door.
Mm, yeah, alright. I'm gonna roll that with save again.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, okay. She's fine. She's still doing fine.
You're talking fine or fine TM, as in not fine but wants people to think she's fine.
Better.
15
Better, but
it
sorry. She was doing
could
much
be
better
worse.
before. But she's prepared. This is not her favorite place, but she's doing fine.
Yeah.
So yeah,
All right.
she's gonna open the door.
Okay. Let's see here. The notes right. So yeah, so you enter and so yeah, and indeed you do are led into sort of a facsimile of the second home that you remember living in. The front door leads into a cozy lounge backed into an open space kitchen, and you can see a garden through the windows. It's filled to the rim with flowers in bloom. And there are other corridors leading off to other rooms as well. And yeah, in this area, you can definitely see more of that sort of like black light, sort of darkness, but also like oversaturated color look to it.
Mm.
So it's definitely like your old home, your childhood home, but there's sort of like, this sort of added on top of it. So like it's
Yeah.
comforting in a way, in the way that like a childhood home would be, but also that sort of like uneasiness in a way. And more notably, though, as you enter in here, you can see there are all these little lights that are floating around, sort of like little, kind of like will o' the wisps, basically, that are floating here and there. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, from the spot in the lounge, since you can see the kitchen, if you go a little further in, I think there's probably be like a back door to the garden, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say that you move a little further, a little in, and you're able to see that door. The door, it looks like slightly more ornate than the actual door probably would have been, and you can see that this one has three keyholes.
Oh, cool. This song and dance again.
Yeah,
Fun, fun.
with more
Yeah.
keys.
Yeah. Yeah, she totally wants to do this in this house that reminds her of her childhood that she definitely doesn't have extremely complicated feelings over before you add on top of the like uncanny oversaturation darkness to it. um,
Yeah.
uh, um, yeah, she also doesn't really like the look of those light things. And she is still being a bit cautious. So
All
she's
right.
going to try and investigate the area for anything that looks out of place. She's got a little bit of basis to go off of from last time of the is there any chests in this area? Anything else that looks like it shouldn't be here other than the very obviously floating lights that she's not going to touch yet?
Right. For the most part, I'd say it's probably fine. I do know there are like a bunch of, I believe you said there were like a bunch of pictures all over the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to describe this part or
Yeah, like give me a second to grab up my descriptions that I grabbed for you and
yeah,
I'll
I've got those up here too. Yeah, I do have an idea for like something out of place that might be on the wall of pictures, but I'll let you describe the ones that are supposed to be there first.
Yeah, yeah. So, trinkets, souvenirs, and pictures line the walls, showing off an assortment of views from all the places that she remembers visiting. Uh, there are also places that she hasn't been, but she knows them anyway, pretty much off by heart because of having heard their stories time and time again. There are five people in consistent across the walls. A tall warforged in a garish outfit, a variety of garish outfits. A young stained glass Toon who is not Crystal, instead has a frizzy afro and yellow eyes, and then pictures of um, her older with a short chibi style man. And then there are pictures of herself at various ages. And then a sorry, just lost my spot. Occasionally she
I think
even
it's
looks
pictures of the
happy
couple.
in the pictures when she isn't aware of the camera shoved in her face. And then there are pictures of her with another Tiny Toon with heterochromatic eyes, in a big chibi style head, body kind of thing. Um, the pictures of her parents grew fewer and fewer as the pair get older, until there's none of them left. And likewise, there are none of her sister older than 10, simply because Crystal had not been back long enough to remember them being added once she'd left home.
Right. I think, and I'm not gonna have you roll for this. I'm gonna give you this one as a freebie because this one would stand out quite a bit as the pictures are sort of like changing over time. And there's less and less of the rest of her family. There's one picture near the end in a slightly more ornate frame, with a bit of a golden gleam to it, that is of Crystal standing next to her mother and father and Cassie, her sister. But the notable thing is that Crystal and Cassie are all grown up in this picture.
Oh yeah, no, that's very much not normal. Um,
Yeah.
all right, I need to
How does
roll another
Crystal
with
feel?
save.
I was gonna say, yeah, another wisdom.
Yeah,
Yeah, how does Crystal feel looking at this picture of herself, like as she is in the present,
cool.
standing with her entire family, both her parents and her sister?
Yeah, not great.
Mm, makes sense.
There is yeah, that kind of hits a bit like a sucker punch to the stomach. Because that it it's impossible. Is it's impossible. As much as she wishes otherwise, um it cannot exist because then her mum is dead and she didn't get to see them grow up. So, you know,
Right. But looking at this picture kind of makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, obviously, this scenario could never happen because, like, her mother's passed away by now. But what if it could, though? What if this, was real? What if she could have something like this?
mm, yeah, she doesn't want to look at the picture because she doesn't want to entertain the
Oh,
notion.
Candle, you're roboting a bit.
Uh,
Maybe try jumping in and out.
am I back?
Let me try mine. One sec. Uh, okay. It's kind of I'm hearing like more roboty sounds on my end. I hope it's not my own audio.
Maybe. My internet seems to be working fine. I can't see any problems.
Yeah, this is odd. Hold on, I'm gonna image to try and fix this.
Alright.
Try talking again.
I am talking, hoping that we can fix this problem and continue.
Um, one sec.
Technical difficulties! The bane of every Toonkind game. Hello?
Okay, normal. Try it now.
Can you hear me? Am I coming through okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Okay, so that was OBS. So yeah, OBS just like all of my desktop sound was like roboting. I tried like a YouTube
Oh,
video, so I just stopped the recording. So I'll just have to cut
alright.
that part out.
Okay, okay. Well, mine's still going, so if worst comes to worst, hopefully we will be good.
Okie dokie. So I'm gonna restart my recording now.
Yep.
Okay, we're back. Apologies for the technical difficulties, everyone. But yeah, before all that happened, Crystal was talking about the picture and sort of how it makes her feel, thinking about like, what if it could be this way?
Yeah. Yeah, and you asked what if it could be, and Yeah, Crystal does not want to look at the picture because Crystal knows that entertaining that sort of thought only leads to heartbreak.
Mm, yep.
So,
All right. So if she's moving on,
yeah, yeah, she's
okay,
moving on. Maybe she needs it, but right now she's willing to try pretty much anything else.
fair enough. So for this section, because I kind of want to keep this moving, uh, I'm gonna say, because we have all the descriptions of like a bunch of the different rooms in here, and there's quite a bit. So I'm gonna say, let's see, let's just do like a few flat rolls just to see how this goes.
All right,
So first, I'm gonna say roll stealth to try and get past the will-o-wisps that are floating around.
all right, yep,
If you can sneak past
okay,
those.
nice. That's pretty decent.
Okay.
I keep forgetting that a stealth is
Okay.
good.
All right, and now let's roll investigation to try and find the key.
All right, that's not as good. Yeah, okay, this makes sense given her her
Yep.
frame of mind at the moment. I'll put it in the chat.
Alrighty.
I mean, it's
That
not.
is only 12. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna say you find the key, but like it takes a little bit longer than you would probably like.
yeah.
Which room do you think she would search?
Uh, well, I suppose she'll start off with what worked last time and check her room, or her and Cassie's room technically.
Right. Let's see, I don't think you have a specific description for that one written
No,
down.
I
So
don't have descriptions of the other rooms, but
yeah, that's okay. We're kind of playing fast and loose with this section, but
I can give a
I'm
short
gonna say in the
description.
universe. Okay, yeah, if you want to, because I'm gonna say in the universe, like there's probably takes a lot longer of like searching and whatnot, like searching each room and seeing different things.
Yeah, yeah. So her and Cassie's room is there is a single bed on either side of the wall. Um, Pretty obvious straight away whose is whose, because one of them is very neat and made and got a bunch of books on the bedside table and a lamp. And the other one is very messy with a bunch of plushies stacked on top of it and like a bunch of like pictures just plastered on the wall around it.
The plushy pile, Cassie's a girl after my own heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing in that room, it takes you a while because you probably search through like I don't know if there's like desk drawers or something, or maybe under the bed, like all
Yeah,
over.
there
But
there is
after
there is a
searching,
desk in there as well. It's a shared desk,
yeah,
so yeah, it's cluttered.
yeah. So it takes you a while to search this room, but eventually you get the idea to look under the pillow of your old bed, and that is where you find the first of the keys.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna say for the next area you can search, that'll be the kitchen. So let's do another stealth and another investigation.
Okay. Yep. Oh, all right. So that's an 11 on the stealth. She was going to trip up at some point.
Yeah. So since you didn't do well on the stealth, you get a little bit too close to one of the will-o-wisps, and it begins to circle around you. And I'll let you put down your investigation roll just so we can get that out of the way.
Yep.
Uh, then
Yep. All right.
okay, much better. So you find the key more easily this time. But let's first do the one with the
Hmm.
will-o-wisp. So I'm gonna say roll a dex save to try and avoid this thing as it's like circling around you, getting closer and closer.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Well, I think she might not be
Oh
making this
dear.
save. That's another 11.
Yeah, that's not gonna quite cut it. Sorry, Crystal.
Oh, good.
So, yep. Oh god, max damage. I mean, it's only a D4 at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, Crystal, the will-o-wisp touches you, and yeah, you do indeed. You feel like this burning sensation, like it's not like your skin's being burned. It's more like your brain is on fire for like a brief moment, and you
Fun.
take or psychic damage.
Fun, fun. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. There's a bit of a hiss and squeezing past and away from it as fast as she can, cause ow.
Yeah. I will say once you trigger the will-o-wisp, like once it hits you, it does vanish. So
All right.
that's one less wisp to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was not fun. She
Yep.
really would like to stop being burned psychically. Thank you very much.
I'm so sorry, Crystal.
No, this is fun. I, the player, am having an absolutely delightful time.
Yeah, the person who made those wisps doesn't really care, but I, me, Kit, feel bad about hurting poor Crystal.
Fair. Fair enough. We've got some dichotomy here.
Yeah. Yeah, so you search the kitchen and yeah, you find it pretty easily. I don't know if there'd be like a more significant place that like the key would be found because honestly my first
Yeah.
thought is just like there's like a particular drawer or something. Or
Um,
maybe like a cookie jar. Would there be a cookie jar in the kitchen because I could see a key being hidden there.
there is a cookie jar in the kitchen, but I think that she maybe finds it in the tea cabinet because that's
Ooh, I
something
like that.
significant to her family.
Yeah. Want to describe to the tea cabinet or
It's so the kitchen is fairly well kept. Like everything is in its place and taken care of, and very organized. And there is a cupboard above. It's like the one room of the house that doesn't have stuff all over the counters. Um, and there's a cupboard above like the well, I don't actually know the appliances, like how modern the appliances in the place are, but you know how a lot of places have the higher cabinets above the stove. One of
Mhm.
those is the tea cabinet, and inside it there is like a really really big array of teas from all over Inkwell.
Ooh, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna say somewhere in that cabinet you find the second key.
Nice.
Yeah. And I think the third key, because you did mention that there's a prominent bookshelf in this house, so I think that'd be a
Yes.
good place to get another one. So I'm gonna say let's do another stealth and another investigation.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, makes sense. This one's much better.
Mm-hmm. Now she knows what those wisps can do. So
That's a 21.
all right, you are fine. You avoid the wisp.
And her investigation is a little lower again. 15.
I think that's enough. You spend a little bit of time searching the bookcase for anything that stands out. Not quite as long as you spent searching the bedroom at the very least, but I think you find like I think you probably find like a medical textbook that's like sticking out a bit more. And when you open
Hmm.
that up, a key is falls out from between the pages and lands on the floor.
Yeah, I think the medical textbook would stand out because that's not really the sort of books that end up in there. Like,
Yeah,
she has some medical stuff, but that's not in the shared.
main focus.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause I think you had the description of the bookshelf. Let me check here.
yeah, I have
Uh,
another.
here
Um,
somewhere.
yeah. Um, I don't
Sorry, there's a lot
actually.
of text in this thing.
Yeah,
I
textbooks,
know there's a
science
bookshelf
equipment,
mentioned.
notepads, half filled with musical instruments, costume pieces, shoes. Um, inside
Yeah,
it,
it's all bookcases actually. Yeah,
yeah,
wow.
half of the stuff in the bookcase are books, and half of it is not.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious. Do you think that the page the key was in might have been like a specific page, like a specific entry on like maybe certain illness or something? That one up to
Yeah,
you.
yeah. The entry page it's probably on is for is the description of the illness. Sorry, let me my brain. grab the words. Inspiration drought.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Crystal, how you feeling?
Yeah, she's mad. Um,
Mm-hmm.
she's, I think, starting to piece together maybe a little bit of why there is some like a running theme here, and she is not particularly thrilled with where this is going.
You. But yeah, that all that aside, well, you've got all three of your keys now. So if she wants to progress,
Yeah, yeah. Um, she's a little bit more reluctant this time. Um, she doesn't want to stay here. She really doesn't want to stay here. She doesn't really want to move forward either, because she is like, this place is not pleasant to be in, but what if it gets worse? Particularly in the way that she is wondering about it getting worse, but also like she's kind of pissed and she wants to find who it
hmm
is that's currently messing with her
well,
dreams.
well, if she needs a little more motivation, those wisps are probably drifting a little bit closer if she lingers too long. So,
Yeah.
might not be a good idea to stick around.
Yeah, okay. In that case, um, yeah, she's gonna move towards the back door and put the keys in it.
All right. Yep. So all three of the keys fit, and the lock clicks open, and you are able to pass through the door. And what you find on the other side is not another house, not even a room. It's more of a just empty black void. Kind of like when you were at the edge of that demi-plane, where you fought the prince. Just sort of like this endless black expanse, with just nothing around. And I think just to be cheeky, I think you when you turn if you should turn around to look back from where you came from, the door is gone now, but you can see a light very far away off in the distance. So the only thing of note in this like just big empty void.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, it's not another room, so I suppose there's that. She's
Hmm
less than thrilled by the darkness, but um the reminiscence
You do have
of,
your dancing lights, so at
yeah,
least you
yeah.
can yeah.
She's more wary about the fact that this is reminding her of the place where they fought um the prince the first time, because she's not really in a great position to fight this time round by herself. So that's a little bit concerning, but she's also kind of still mad. Um, so, and there's not much else that she can do, so she's going to move towards the light.
All right. So yeah, it takes a while for you to get close. Because it is a pretty fair distance away. The closer you get, though, because as you've been walking, like all you can really hear is sort of the echoing of your footsteps in this endless void. But as you get closer, you start to like faintly hear sounds at the edge of your hearing, and they gradually get louder the closer you get to the light. And it's hard to discern at first, but you recognize it soon because this is the sort of background noise you would probably hear at a hospital. So you hear like
Hmm.
sort of the chatter of like nurses and doctors rushing hither and thither, talking to each other behind closed doors, the beeping of equipment, the clacking of feet on white sterile tiles.
The yeah, the call beep as well, to bring nurses around, or I imagine there's a bit of a smell as well, of like
Oh yeah, the closer you
sterile
get, you can
clean.
yeah, that sort of sterile cleaning smell.
Yeah, yeah, she's not. mm, I think as soon as she starts putting it together, she might stop again. Um, cause oh yeah, that's fun. That's not. she kind of thinks she knows where this is going, and don't know if she's ready for that. Um, I'm actually kind of curious how long it's going to take her to move. All right, all right.
Mm.
No, it doesn't actually take too long. She does stop. She does pause. She does think about turning back, but she, well, kind of better to get this over and done with and see what she can actually get out of it.
Mhm.
And well, she's faced it before once. She can do it again.
All right. So as you find the will to move forward, the light gets closer and closer, and it's basically sort of like a spotlight shining down on like not quite a room, but well, it's a hospital bed. You can make that out even as you're far away, and as you get
Mm,
closer, you can see other little details like next to it, sort of like kind of floating in midair, where like if there it would be if there was a wall. There's a
mm,
curtained window, or like if you were to get closer and like see through the curtains, you could see glimpses of the hospital's internal garden. And there is a little bedside table next to the bed that has a some sunflowers in a little vase.
mm. Yeah, I
And
think she's looking everywhere but the bed first.
yeah, makes sense. And the closer you get to the bed, you can hear a steady beep, beep, beep of a heart monitor.
Mm. Yeah, there's like a part of her that's like, really would be nice to wake up right about now.
Mm,
But she's not that lucky. So, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna finally look at the bed.
All right. So the bed is empty, but you can still hear the steady beeping of the heart monitor next to it. Um, it could be like extra creepy if like there's sort of like uh the blankets are sort of raised as though like someone were underneath them, and the pillows are sort of like pushed in a bit as if someone were lying against them.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. That's she doesn't like it, but it's also it could be worse. And it's slightly weird enough for it to like for her mind to latch onto as she approaches like, okay, this is still a little bit odd kind of thing. I can detach my mind from the emotions for a little bit as I keep going.
I think that once you reach the bed, the heart monitor's sort of been like gradually slowing down. The beeps have gotten further and further apart until eventually you hear the long extended sound of a beep that comes when the heart monitor flatlines. And as it does so, the blankets sort of like fall down to the bed. The depression in the back of the pillow sort of like rises up as there's nothing lying there anymore. The bed is empty.
Mm, yeah. All right. Now that was save time.
Hmm.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I don't even need to roll that at disadvantage.
Oh boy, how how bad is this? I mean, that's a 7. Oh, that's a nat 1.
That's a
Oh,
nat
honey,
one.
no.
Nope.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, yeah, she's having fun. She's totally not
Oh.
feeling so many things right now at that obvious connotation of what this room is and means to her and the heart monitor stopping and yeah, um she's fine. She's good. She's swell. She definitely doesn't want to stab someone right now.
Uh-huh. And Crystal, you hear a voice from behind you. Such a shame what happened to her, isn't it? Only someone could have done something.
Ah, cool. Cool. Um, I Do you need me to roll another arcana to cast another spell?
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. All right. All right. Well, I think the spell's going through even if she doesn't hit it. I will need to make a ranged spell attack, I think. So that's a 26 arcana. So she's casting Ray of
Yeah.
Frost.
Mm. On the one hand, I don't want to be too cheap, so I'm gonna ask you, if the person standing behind her had ready an action, say to teleport out of the way if someone lobbed an attack at them, would that be acceptable or?
Honestly, yeah, to be fair, that would be fair. Because I
Yeah.
mean, it would be expected, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, you see, the figure standing behind you sort of, like, flashing it out of, like, the space they were just standing in as the ray of frost goes by them.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think Crystal probably whipped around to, cast that spell, and when they
Yeah.
reappear, oddly enough, not quite as flashy as their usual teleporting effect. There's maybe, like, a few of those little stars, but it's not, you know, again, not quite as flashy.
Hmm. Well,
Yeah, you see the yep.
uh,
So, yeah,
sh- sh-
so,
she's
sort
not
of standing
really
off
in
to
the
the
frame
side of
of
you now.
mind of to take that
Yeah.
in. She's very,
Yeah, kind of a minor detail.
yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, standing up, sort of off to the side of you now, if you probably turn your head to look at them, is indeed the Prince of Gourds. He's got that smile on his face, those curly horns, same way you remember seeing him last time. And he's not leaning on his usual. He doesn't have his staff with him at the moment. He's just sort of standing there. I think he holds his hands up in a placating gesture and says, "Easy now, Doctor. I'm not here to fight with you. If I was, well, you would already be writhing in pain, but I'm not interested in that right now."
No, it seems very clear what you are interested in.
Mm, indeed. So, why don't we put down our weapons, or spells in this case, and just have a bit of a civil conversation for now? And he snaps his fingers, and the hospital bed disappears, and in its place is sort of like a little, like one of those little, like little metal outdoor tea tables with like the two chairs.
All right, all
And
right.
yeah, he'll walk over and sit down in one of the chairs, and just or for you to sit across from him.
Mm, okay, I need to roll. Is she going to? Yeah, okay, she is going to. Apparently, she wants information more than she wants to just hit him right now.
Yeah, entirely fair.
Yeah, she's very, like, obviously still tense. Like, no insight roll needed. She's perched on the edge of her seat and is looking for the slightest hint of needing to move one way or another.
Right. Meanwhile, the prince seems pretty relaxed, despite how how much Crystal is giving off this vibe of "I'm going to kick your ass if you try anything." He's like probably like leaned back in his chair slightly. Still got that smile on his face, not quite as wide as usual, but still ever present. Those sharp, sharp teeth of his.
Mm,
So I'll cut to the chase, since obviously neither of us want to be here. I'd like to offer you a deal, one that I think will benefit the both of us.
that I highly doubt, but go on.
Just humor me for a moment. For all you know that you have something I want, or rather, you have access to something I want, and there's something that you want very dearly, something that I might be able to get for to you for the right price, of course.
Uh, she takes in a deep breath and out again, and I'm just trying to figure out the right way to phrase how she's gonna phrase, like how she would phrase this.
And the prince, I think even in character, like the prince will wait and let her, consider this. Take as much time as she needs.
The I really hate people like you
Hmm?
who know exactly what they're doing when they offer things like this to those desperate enough to maybe take you up on it.
He just kind of shrugs his shoulders and, still grinning, says, "Well, I am a devil, dear doctor. What else would you expect from me? I'm not going to pretend to be anything I'm not."
Sorry. Um Again, like I'm really not great at like I think part of the problem is that like there is just so much emotion currently like getting in the way of like her trying to form words. Like she wants very badly to like to hurt him with her words, but she knows that nothing she will say will have that sort of effect on him because she knows he knows exactly what it is he's doing, and that's part of what she hates.
Yep. We gotta have him, like, keep talking if that'll help.
Yeah, yeah, that if you would like.
Alright. Give me a sec. Right. Well, let's look at it this way. Well, for one thing, you should be rather grateful that I'm giving you this offer at all. I mean, I have every right to just, well, try and destroy you like the others. In fact, you're actually quite fortunate because you weren't my first choice.
Grateful.
I don't offer these
you
deals to just anyone,
you are
least of all someone
unbelievable.
that I have quite the vendetta against.
You aren't doing this for me. You're doing this for yourself. You are doing this because you need an in, and because whether you get what you want from me or not, you're still going to hurt someone in the process. Don't
And he
kid
just
me
kind of
with the
nods his head.
fortunate.
Yeah. Well, yes, that is all true. And yet, this is still a rather rare opportunity. I don't offer my contracts to anyone. In fact, no, not everyone is even able to clear that first trial, simple as it may be. Congratulations on that, by the way. You performed quite well.
I'm used to rising to expectations.
Yes, indeed. Or at least you are now in the present day, but, well, enough about the past. Uh, Hang on, sorry, I'm trying to find my words.
Oh, good.
Alright. But enough about the past. I think we've dwelled there long enough this evening. What I'm offering you is a much brighter present, one where you're, one, God, words. One where your family would get to be complete once more, and all it would cost you is the life of some magical construct that you've barely known for, what, a little over a year now? Can you really look me in the eye and tell me that and her life is more precious to you than that of your own mother. You're really willing to let a chance like this slip through your fingers just for that little imp.
My mother is dead. She's been so for. Sorry, I need to do math now.
Take your time.
She's been so for over 12 years now. And you are not going to sully her memory. Will not help you.
Hmm. He sort of sighs and says, Fair enough. Suppose it was worth a shot. I was hoping we could wrap this whole mess up a bit more quickly and simply, but oh well, an attempt was made, I suppose.
Yeah. Um I'm trying to think of what to say because like currently I'm like
Yeah.
she could have fished for information and gone along with it, but like I'm just she
I think I can add a little bit
wouldn't.
more to it, at least.
Um
Yeah.
yeah, no, keep going.
I think you'll also. Yeah, I'll keep going. Still, I suppose it was a bit of a long shot in the long run. I mean, clearly you and your compatriots aren't really typed to trade any lives for no matter how tempting the offer is, even one as inconsequential as hers. Maybe there isn't a way to. And then he kind of stops and thinks for a moment. Hmm. Guess perhaps that might be worth looking into. Hmm.
Hmm. All right,
He
all
kind of mutters
right.
to himself. Hmm.
Well, that's hmm. Okay,
I
so
think at this point. Yeah.
I
Oh no, you go first.
I do think I know what she would say to that of the
Yeah.
I'm sure it's quite baffling to you how other people can value the lives of those you see as lesser.
Hmm. And he kind of looks back at Crystal and says, "I suppose I just don't really see the merit in putting the life of putting one's life, the one, got words. Uh, I suppose I just don't really see the value of putting the life of someone else over one's own. I mean, most humans are inherently selfish creatures. Let's be honest here. So really, isn't it
That
better to look out for oneself in the
shows
end?
how little you know about people. It's sad, honestly. You have no idea what you're missing because you just
Mm,
can't see it.
well, suppose it's rather difficult for a being like myself to see from a mortal's perspective, so to speak. And I think at this point, like, you've talked long enough that I'm gonna let Crystal roll insight on this fella.
Sure. All right. Cool. This will either
Yeah.
go really well or really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh.
That's honestly hilarious in one regard, but also I'm crying on the inside.
Oh. Oh. Can I look away and give her advantage because I really want her to like at
Please.
least get something out of this.
Thank you. All right.
It's
All
like
right.
you've encountered the prince enough to like sort of like kind of know what he's like for this. So
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. That's a 13, which
okay,
is
yeah,
better.
13. Okay. So Crystal, this entire conversation, there's been kind of something nagging at the back of your mind. Something off about the prince. You're not sure why, but there's just something different about him, and you can't quite put your finger on it. But it's been long enough, and you've interacted with him enough that it finally clicks in your mind. He hasn't done that signature cackle of his once throughout this entire conversation, which is very odd to you because you remember like he was constantly like laughing at every little comment you guys made the last couple of times you had encountered him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It I think once that twigs, because this is not the first time Crystal has interacted with a doppelganger.
Mhm.
So I think what she might will she tip her hand or not in that regard? I might roll, see if she does so in order to try and get extra information or not.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so she sort of like shifts a little and because he said something along the lines of uh the I guess it's a bit of a I guess as a devil I can't um
Yeah, being such as myself couldn't really understand things from your perspective, something along those lines.
yeah, yeah. I think what she'll say is maybe not, but you're also not being 100% honest with me.
And he grins a little bit more, still not doing that cackle though. And he says, "Oh come now, doctor. You've known me long enough to know that I'm not exactly the most honest sort. Thought that should be obvious by now."
Do I? I know the prince is not honest, but you I can't say.
And see, I'm just gonna do a whiz save of my own. 18, still pretty good. I think maybe like the corner of his mouth twitches a little bit, but other than that, um, Prince holds his poker face pretty well.
Mm.
Hmm. Just what are you trying to imply with that, dear doctor?
Nothing. Just musing aloud. After
Hmm.
all, we are in my dream.
Indeed, and I'd say it's about time you woke up. I think our business is concluded here. And I think he kind of like raises his hand up, and let me grab the music for this. Well, I can
Mm.
post it later, but it's like you start to hear like basically sort of like circus esque music. Um, there it is. Sort of like circus esque music, kind of rising in volume as uh as these shapes begin to emerge from. Here's the song. As these shapes begin to emerge from the darkness all around you. These colorful like monsters, very much fitting in with Halloween, so quite a bit more threatening.
Mm.
All of them colorful, but also in that sort of like black light darkness sort of way with like their glowing eyes. There are quite a few pumpkins with like glowing eyes and grins. Those wisps circling around you. And is there anything Crystal would like to say before to him before the dream ends?
I'm trying to see if there's anything she has on her that she could cast to maybe give her a little bit more information before they go. But I don't think that she does. 'Cause yeah, she just I I don't think casting detect magic is going to do her any good right now.
Yeah, literally inside it's like a magically induced dream, so it's you're probably just gonna like just blind yourself with like magic pinging
Yeah,
all over.
and identify would take too long to cast. So
Definitely, because you only got like a few seconds before this goes off. So if there's any like last things you want to like say or shout at this person before the dream ends,
what did he say? He said last was it's time for this to end, like the time for this dream to end.
yeah, something along those lines.
Oh god. Yeah. Uh there are a variety of things that she could say. Um but I
Well, let me ask you this: like, do you think Crystal would have like have a theory of like who the person she's talking to might be, and if it is that person, like, is there something she might want to say to them, like to either like call them out or something she would want to say to that person if she had a chance to like speak with them, something
mm,
along those lines, if that helps.
unfortunately she doesn't have quite enough to narrow it down. Um
That's fair. Yeah.
So I suppose she could potentially gamble on who it is, but that would also be potentially like tipping her hand that she doesn't know. Um,
Yeah.
I think what she might say is um, just like just a until next time, I suppose. Like kind of like she knows she doesn't particularly want to see them again. But she also knows that she's not going to be like he's not going to be giving up that easily, and it's kind of a little bit of a yeah, I'm planning on standing in your way again kind of thing.
Hmm. Fair enough. Yeah. All right. Yeah. He just kind of like grins at you and says, and so, one word of advice before I go. You might want to check on your sister when you wake up. And he snaps his fingers and make me a whiz save, please.
Cool. All right. All right. All right. That's decent.
Okay. Let's see. Ooh, very good. Yeah. So yeah, all the monsters are sort of like surrounding you, and you can feel this sort of like kind of similar to like when that wisp caused you that psychic damage, sort of like pressing in on your temples. Like something's like trying to like hurt you again, but you manage to resist it.
Mm.
And yeah, as the dream comes to an abrupt end, you wake up in your bed, probably doing the classic like sitting upright immediately thing that like they always do in shows and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely like the kind of like vaulting upright kind of thing.
Hmm.
And immediately like going for her glasses as she's kind of like throwing off covers because that sure was one way to end conversation. So
Hmm.
she's kind of scrambling a little bit to move because even if he hadn't have said that, like there she still probably would want to check on other people.
All right, fair enough. So do you head to Cassie's room first, as was suggested?
Yeah, yeah, she would.
All right. So, I'm going to kind of quickly jump over to Cassie's perspective for a sec because Cassie has been having a kind of a very similar night to her sister. In fact,
Mm,
probably nigh identical, I would say, the dream that she's been going through.
yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And she has also been having a very similar conversation with a certain enigmatic figure, though of course in this case it was really him, and he offered her a very similar deal as well.
Hmm.
Of course, he was a
Um,
bit more upfront about, explaining what the deal was since, she might not know how this works quite as intimately as Crystal does.
Yeah, yeah. There would have been a lot. Actually, there would have been a lot of wait, go back. Explain this part to me. I don't understand. Maybe to the point that the prince is getting that she's doing this a little bit to be annoying. Um
Yeah, I think it probably takes like a couple of tries for him to realize, like, oh wait, no, you're doing this on purpose.
um but she would have been polite the entire time. just just that like that vague level of like incredibly polite, incredibly like um uh trying to describe like vapid no thoughts head empty kind of thing, that it takes a little while for him to realize no, that's like an act.
Yeah, probably. I forget what the prince's insight is, but I don't think it's as good as some of his other stats. We'll check that later. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think the prince is like probably at first putting on like a lot of like more faux friendly politeness, like to kind of draw her in. Because like Crystal, she hasn't met him in person, so he potentially had that edge of like maybe I can manipulate her a little bit more than her sister. Though of course, Crystal's probably warned Cassie about this guy, so needless to say, she was a bit more prepared.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if she'd been warned or not. Probably if she's turned up at the Halloween party, she would have been told a little bit of information about what they were doing
Yeah.
and why.
I think all the guests probably would have gotten a general like, "Hey, be careful of like this might happen, and that's why we're gathering everybody."
Yeah, but Cassie's not really the sort to be directly antagonistic most of the time.
Yeah,
So she's settling for the try and annoy them approach.
yeah, yeah, and he's pretty good at keeping up a poker face, but I think the prince's annoyance like definitely kind of becomes more evident the longer she drags this out.
Yeah.
I think at one point he probably just gets fed up and just like straight up asks her like, "Are you taking the deal or not?"
Yeah, at that point I think she would um she she just uh no. I I'm not. I can't in good conscience do what you are asking.
I see, I see. Well, that is rather unfortunate. But on the plus side, it means I don't have to be pretend to be so friendly with you anymore. And I think he does, in fact, do the cackle as he summons those monsters. And
Hmm.
yeah. Actually, I might need to get his stat block for this one because Cassie has to make a whip save now, and unfortunately, his DC is a lot higher. A lot higher. So,
Yeah, her whiz save is not as good as Crystal's either. Okay, let me
oh,
just find it.
darling, I'm so sorry about this.
No, it's fair. This is sort of, I think, part of and part of the plan as well, honestly.
Yeah, no, this is quite a bit higher.
Alright, well, let's see. Oh, okay. I mean, I say that, but um um
Now this I gotta see. This is a nat 20. I'm gonna laugh.
maybe
You're
a nat
gonna love this
20.
even more. That is exactly the DC. That's a meets and
Oh
beats
my
it. Cassie just said, "Not tonight, sucker."
god. Cassie said, "I've seen scarier than you."
Yeah.
She might have even said that to him.
The prince is gonna be like so friggin' upset about this one. uh, But yeah, anyway, so honestly, it's even funnier because like Crystal's probably expecting to like come in and like see her sister like tossing and turning in distress and like wake up screaming or something like that. But she
Mm.
probably just like opens her eyes and like rubs at her like bleary eyes and it's just like totally fine.
I do think that she does wake up like with the gasp upright thing, because it was still like she managed to keep her cool kind of thing, but
It is
it
true, and it
still
was a meets
was
and beats it, so
frightening.
she did barely manage to beat it. So
Yeah, like yeah, she's upright. She's like, okay, where am I? I'm like um uh like, yeah, where am I? I might actually roll an intelligence for her, see if she can figure out where she is.
Right, yeah.
Okay, that's a straight 10. So, um, yeah, it like takes a little bit, but she does figure it out. And when
Yeah.
Crystal immediately like bursts in, um, I think there might be like that little bit of a like she looks at her and Cassie's just looks back at the like I'm alright, I'm alright, I'm alright, and then lip wobble, and then tears, and just like yeah,
Oh.
just like dives for her sister to like hug. Like that was a lot.
What? I know I'm the one who did this, but also what?
She's like the I will be okay, like, and I was like the holding on and I was okay and stuff, and now it's all sort of like crashing in on her, and she just needs a moment to be like, yeah, no, it's
Oh,
okay, everything's
darling.
fine.
Oh,
She might even
gosh.
say that like to her sister, like just a long stream of words of like everything that happened and like everything that she did and that she was and she toughed it out all the way through the end, and but it's also a lot, and like why would someone ever do something like that? And yeah,
Oh,
all just comes
bless.
out.
Oh my god, I love her.
Kathy is a sweetheart and I love her so much.
She is. But yeah, that's probably a good place to end it with just the sisters like hugging each other and reassuring each other that that's okay now.
Yeah, yeah. How
Yeah.
late early is it?
Let's see. The dream probably went on for a while, so I'm gonna say like it's probably like the wee hours of the morning, like maybe a little bit before the sun starts to rise. So
Yeah, I think in that case, like Crystal is probably going to stay with Cassie, for whatever is left of the. Oh, sorry, hold on, my phone is. Okay. Sorry, someone was calling me and I had to stop that. um,
ah, it's all good. We'll be wrapping this up pretty quick. So
yeah, yeah. If it's the wee hours of the morning, Crystal will stay with Cassie. Try and let her get back to sleep, go back to sleep. She's not. Uh, I don't think either of them are going back to sleep, but they're going to wait until it's slightly more reasonable hour of the morning, and then they're
yeah,
Crystal's probably going to go looking for Professor and Azumi.
yeah, yeah. And honestly, like Aurelia probably didn't get tons of sleep. I mean, Prof managed to lull the system to sleep, but I think she's probably up relatively early too, and so the group can
Yeah,
probably like reconvene, and Crystal can inform them of her very interesting night.
I think
And
maybe
I will note that he did mention the quote unquote prince did make a mention of like Crystal wasn't his first choice, so
oh yeah, she
you can
caught that.
probably like draw some conclusions. Definitely would want to share that. And
Yeah, yeah.
considering I forget if she knows like what Azumi is, but
No, she doesn't know
that
about
he's actually a cowst.
Azumi. I don't think she
Okay,
knows about Azumi, but like I'm sure it will come up potentially in that
right,
conversation. I think what she might
yeah,
do is she might ask Cassie to go like check in on Aurelia and Angelique, and then maybe have that talk with Professor and Azumi, and then loop Aurelia in a little bit later once they've kind of figured
makes
out a
sense.
bit more.
Especially because like you probably want to like let Aurelia sleep because God knows the poor girl like probably
Didn't
could
get
use
a
a bit of
good
sleep.
night. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, I will just say out of character that neither Aurelia nor Angelique were visited in their dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had a relatively normal night. Which makes sense because the prince is kind of forbidden from like directly interfering
Mm. Yep.
with the system, with the mirror system at the very least. That probably extends to Angelique to some degree.
Yeah, yeah. I imagine it gets a little funky there.
Definitely. Um,
Well, that was definitely still information learned. She could have potentially strung things along, but that's not really her style.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Even when she knows the benefit of it, I'm just like Crystal is too blunt. She wouldn't, and she's not in the right headspace to even consider it right now.
Yeah, that's entirely fair. I mean, to be fair, like there was a lot in there that like threw her off her rhythm, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
Honestly,
yeah,
Cassie might have gotten more information about the what she needed to do with how many questions she asked the prince.
yeah. I'll have to think on that later because we didn't really role play out that
No,
conversation. But
that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, the prince would have probably been even more tight-lipped than his doppelganger would have about like only like being way more careful because he has a lot more experience with this sort of thing of like
Mm,
not revealing anything he didn't want them to know. So
fair, fair. He would have
yeah,
gotten
I
a lot
think
of
we
and
can.
then what kind of questions.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think we can wrap things up. But
Yeah.
thank you for everybody listening in present and future. We wish
Yee.
you a very good time zone. Bye, everybody.
Bye.